in Ontario and across Canada, actually, there's been a really interesting, lovely shift toward professional learning models that have certain characteristics that are really important. And in my research and other people's research, we've started to identify exactly what these characteristics are that make strong learning opportunities for teachers. And so some of those characteristics are that they're classroom embedded. And what I mean by that is that the classroom is the primary site of learning, not the only site, but the primary site. So the student is at the center of the learning for both the students and the educators that are working with those students. It's teacher-directed. That is, teachers have choice about what they're studying or what they're looking at in particular and inquiring about. And so there's a lot of alignment of goals between what the teacher's looking for and the larger goals of the professional learning program. That's really important. It is research supported. So whenever possible, if there are researchers or forms of research that can be embedded in the professional learning, it tends to be more effective. First of all, because we want to emphasize research effective practices. So to establish what those practices are, sometimes it helps to have a knowledgeable other there, or have the teachers engaging in action research themselves. It is sustained and iterative, so that is that it has some cycle in it. We don't do it once. We don't come together and have a meeting and go away. There are a series of activities going on. There are between session activities going on. That is that the people who are engaging in the professional learning commit to doing certain actions and investigating and observing what's going on with those actions between each session and come back and talk about it together. So teacher-directed, research-supported, collaborative, those are some of the key features that we're looking for. It's the W effect, and I'll just show you a diagram that shows the W effect so you can see what I'm talking about. But essentially what we're looking at here is this gray area here is the classroom, and the whole area is professional learning. And so we start together by setting some goals and planning as a team of educators. And then go into the classroom and explore with the students. Try some things out. Observe very carefully what the students are doing. Come out again and discuss and debrief and refine and sort of say, oh, what do these students need next? What kinds of activities should we be we're focusing on? What mathematics is really important next? And then go back into the classroom and debrief again. So this kind of W effect where the classroom is kind of grounding the work and the whole professional learning model is occurring not just in the classroom but outside of the classroom as well. So it's grounded or classroom embedded in that is the primary site for the learning, but it's not the only place that we do our learning. And so you can see right away that walking in and doing some kind of modeling is not really part of this kind of work. In fact, as far as the efficacy research goes, if an expert comes in and models a lesson and teachers are watching that, it doesn't necessarily have a positive effect or any translation whatsoever. What we need to do is see somebody somewhat like ourselves trying something out that's a little bit risky, but also watching that person have success. And then we say to ourselves, hey, my friend Joe here just did this and it worked really well. I saw what the kids were capable of doing and I'm a bit like him. I think I can go into the classroom and try that myself. Let's come back now to the exploratory lessons in the classroom. It doesn't necessarily mean that those are all polished, beautiful lessons. In fact, the idea there is to go in and try some things with students together and see what happens. So that often leads to surprises and disasters and we have to just sort of be comfortable with that. And that's why we call them in our work, in our research work, we call those exploratory lessons because it's an opportunity for both students to explore some interesting mathematics ideas, but also for educators and researchers or who is ever working in the professional learning to go into the classroom and explore with some freedom. So what happens in those situations is, let's say something doesn't go the way we were sort of anticipating, those surprises become profound learning experiences for everybody. And we learn quite a bit from those. And we often say, oh, you know, students learn from their mistakes. but what we were really talking about here is teachers and researchers and whoever's together, learning together, when they try something risky, they don't know how it's going to go. And learning from those surprises and unanticipated outcomes are, you know, really powerful.